knowledge of the salaf over the knowledge of those who came after them. And I hope that someone would translate it, inshallah. Perhaps our brother Abu Maryam, who seems to have a zeal for translation these days, would do so. Nevertheless, he has in one of the statements, we have been tested with ignorant people who believe that just because someone can speak well or in detail, mina mutakhirin, from those who came later, that he's more knowledgeable than those who preceded. Some of them think that a person is more knowledgeable than anybody that preceded him, even the Sahaba, because he talks a lot and he speaks a lot, right? And therefore he has more knowledge than those fuqaha al-mashhureen, those fuqaha who are well known, who the people follow. What this means, he said, هذا يلزم, what this means is that those before him of the fuqaha, who has followers, who he believes he's knowledgeable, more knowledgeable than them, or they believe he's more knowledgeable because he speaks more, that therefore this means that he in fact was more knowledgeable than those who taught them. Because there's no doubt that they talked more than their teachers. And they talked more than their teachers. And it goes back like that. And he said, so therefore, then you would say that Thawri and Awza'i and Layth and Mubarak and that level, that he, from the Tabi'een and the Sahaba, that they're more knowledgeable. Those who came after them are no more knowledgeable than them. Why? Because aqalla kalaman, they speak less than them. And then that those who were before them came, from the Sahaba, Ibn Mas'ud, and those like that they were more knowledgeable than them. Because there were some amongst Sahaba who spoke less and who were more knowledgeable. Like the narrations of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq are fewer than the narrations of any of the other Sahaba. The narrations of Abdullah ibn Abbas may be more, and more his talking may be more. What his point is, and I hope it's clear, is that this is not a signal. This is not any type of manner. This is not any type of scale to judge knowledge on. This is an erroneous and a mistaken scale to judge knowledge based on the fact that someone talks more than others. How many narrations do you find from Abu Bakr as-Siddiq? Yet all the Sahaba say, and Abu Bakr was the most knowledgeable amongst us. And Abu Bakr was the most knowledgeable amongst us. So it is not a matter from that. Abdullah Mas'ud seen this illness coming, and he talked about it. He said, verily you are in a time in which you have a lot of ulema and you have very few speakers. But there will come a time where you will have only a few ulema and you will have many speakers. So those who their knowledge is a lot and his speech is little, then they are praiseworthy. And those who are opposite are blameworthy. Those who knowledge is a lot and their speech is little, mamduh, are praiseworthy. And those who are opposite are blameworthy. Think about this, brothers, and think about the last statement. He who has a lot of knowledge and his speech is little, then he who are al-mamduh, he's praiseworthy. And he who is in the opposite of this, he's madmum, blameworthy. This is the scale. This is the scale. But this scale is almost non-existent in the ranks of those who call themselves Salafis. Non-existence. Let's not talk about those other than Salafis. But amongst the Salafis, this mizan, this scale, where is it at? Where is it at? We are in a time where the juhal, the ignorant, can talk about the great scholars. Like many have talked regarding Sheikh bin Baz and said very nasty things. And Sheikh al-Albani and said very filthy things regarding him. And Sheikh Muqbil and Sheikh Rabi' hafidhahullah. And that's all of this because they did not have the scale that we're talking about in the words of Ibn Rajab and the words of Ibn Mas'ud. They did not have this scale. They did not know how to judge the issue. For the scholars are not known by their statements and by talking a lot and by writing a lot. They're known by Qala Allah. Allah said. Qala Rasulu. The messenger said. Kala Sahaba, the companions said, this is what they're known. They're not known by kathrat kalam, a lot of talk, wal jidal, and arguing and debating in the matters of deen. But everything they do is restricted to kitab and sunnah. Everything they do is restricted to following Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was given jawami al-kalim, the ability to say a few concise words that carry a long range and extensive meaning. And the scholars are like that. The words of the salaf are few and carry much barakah and much meaning. The words of the khalaf and those who came after them are very much and carry nothing of real knowledge and no real blessing. So, since that the scholars are in fact inheritors of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those who inherit from the prophets, the person who inherits from a person is the one most closest to the person. The one most closest to the person is the one who inherits from that person. And the scholars are the inheritors of the prophets. So they have this quality, the same quality of speaking concise and speaking summarized, few statements, but much meaning, much benefit, and much wisdom to it. The Prophet ﷺ said in the Hadith Abu Hurairah, which is in Sahihain, verily I have been given the keys of speech. And in one narration he said, I have been preferred over the other prophets in 6 matters. Amongst them, I have been giving jawami al-kalim. Jawami mean qalil al-lafz, few words, kathir al-ma'ani, much meaning. Many meanings and much meaning. Full of benefit. The people benefit from the time the Prophet ﷺ was sent to Allah to inherit the earth and all that is upon it. Ibn Rajab Rahimahullah says, Ibn Rajab Rahimahullah says that we have this fitna. Listen to his point. Some people have been put to trial by those who came later, of the later day scholars, or the later day mutaakhireen, who were connected to knowledge, not necessarily scholars in the true sense of the word. Min kathra kalamuhu, because his words are a lot. Wa jidaluhu, and his arguing is a lot. And his debating is a lot in the matters of deen. So they think because this person talks a lot, debates a lot, argues a lot, is good in argumentation and debate, can talk a long time, that he's the most knowledgeable. وَهَذَا الْجَهْلِ الْمَحْض, that is total ignorance. Look to the akabir sahaba, look to the elders of the companions. They're scholars like Abu Bakr and Umar and Ali and Mu'adh and Mas'ud and Zayd and Thabit. How were they? They talked a little. فَلَيْسَ الْعَالَمْ بِكَثْرَةِ رِوَايَةٍ, the scholars not by relating a lot of narrations, وَلَا بِكَثْرَةِ الْمَقَالَ, by speaking a lot, وَلَكِنْهُ النُّورُ, but it's a light that Allah throws in the heart of an individual, that يَفْهَمْ بِهِ الْعَدْ, the servant understands how he can make a distinction between that which is batil, false, and that which is true, and how he can express that to others in a very short and concise and summarized manner. This is knowledge. We're talking about ilm. And we should know, barakallahu fikum, that we have to distinguish with the scholar by many things. Amongst them, and this was in the first setting, amongst them is his age. Age, in most cases, has a place, especially when it comes to knowledge, except rarely. And we're not talking about exceptions. We're talking